Hello. I thought I'd give you a quick spring look at my allotment. I don't normally put myself on so you can see me, but I'm so chuffed with this hat I was given. I thought I'd show it off. So let's have a look round and see how my allotment's going in the spring. Well, the pretty bit is looking alright. I put the bulbs in, didn't I? Well, last October, September, October, and they're all looking good. Quite pleased with that. So let's move on to the tea room. Nothing much going on in the tea room. I'm chitting my potatoes. As you can see, they're in trays there. Look. That's not where they normally live. They live inside, but I needed to get in the shed and get stuff. That's about it. Oh, and I've got a bit of pretty stuff in here. The geraniums, they've been flowering practically all winter. So move on to the greenhouse. Into the greenhouse. Now I've got some potatoes in buckets. I'll put them in way before Christmas, I think. In the oak they might have sprayed it a bit quicker, but I've got ones outside which have sprayed it quicker. Then in here I've got a feeling I might be successful with a grafted grapevine. This is about the third year I've tried it. I've got some peas in trays, and in fact they're just beginning to show. If you can just make out there. There's another one there, look, just showing. And I've also got some beetroot in trays. I've got some sweet peas there, look. And more sweet peas. And begonia that I brought on through the winter in here. Oh, I'll tell you what I have got in here that I'm bringing through the winter, and that is a Cape gooseberry. There we go, look at that. And that's looking okay. So that's going to go outside later. And then these carrots, I sowed these carrots way back in October. And I've pulled a few. They're a bit tight, but you know, it's given me fresh carrots when you wouldn't normally have carrots. You might wonder why these buckets of water are here. It's because during the day the water warms up, and then it gives off its heat in the evenings and at night time. We've had a few frosts lately, and that's what I've been doing just to help keep the temperature up just that little bit more. Oh, and also I've made some candles with beeswax, and then I light the candle and I put the pot over the top, and that burns all night. So there we go. So let's go round the plot then. What have I got? I've got another Cape gooseberry there that I'm hoping that I've brought that in from out. I've brought that from the greenhouse and I'm putting it outside to harden it off. That is rootstock grapevine. The grapevines that I bought some years ago, they started sending some shoots up from the root, so I've moved them on. As is the fig tree. So I'm having a go at propagating a couple more fig trees. I don't know why, I don't want any more, but then I can put them in our allotment shop, and they sell them for the soldiers. Then I've put some sweet peas out. I don't know if you can quite see them along the side there, but round here these sweet peas have survived through the winter, and now they're putting on a spurt of growth. I'm well pleased with that. The garlics are all showing really good. The elephant garlic at the far end and the smaller garlics at this end. And then I've put some more sweet peas along here. That's our beehive. It needs. We've moved them on because we lost one. They've been moved into the bigger hive, the wooden hive. So I've got to clean that one up now. Give it a good old scrub. Strawberries, they're doing good. And I've moved the foliage that I took off of my asparagus last year. I kept in the dry, and I've used that as straw around the strawberries. Then my potatoes, these are my earlies. These are swift, looking good. And some of those are cut in half, and they've all worked. The spinach now is all but had its it's going to go to seed any minute now, but it's good. And as you can see behind the spinach, my compost heap is now filled right to the top. There's something I want to show you there. I've tried an experiment with using the heat from that to warm the greenhouse. I'll show you that in a minute. Right, then this plot is, I had my late beetroot, and they've been doing really well. The leeks, the ones that all went to seed earlier this year, not this year, last year, I cut them off, and I've got sometimes 4 leeks out of one. The roots just shot up new leeks. Then this little bit here, there's the grapevine there that I've really severely cut back. I might try and graft it, I'm not sure yet. And the peas, look at the peas, they're looking gorgeous. Let's have a quick whip round and look at this, my home invention for the... Okay, so here we are, there's the greenhouse, there's the compost heap, and what I've done is I've got a hose pipe curled up in the compost heap, and inside, as you can see, I've just got a piece of copper pipe that's joined it together. Hold on, where are we? There we go. Joined it together with a couple of Jubilee clips. So, as I say, it don't work as like I thought it would do. To put the warmth of the compost heap into the greenhouse, and it's only very slightly warm. It's not quite as good as I was expecting, because if you put your hand in on top of the compost heap, it's really warm. And I think what I should have done was had that curled up in the top of the compost heap. Anyway, it's just an idea. Right, let's go back to the path. So that's where we was, wasn't it? Yeah. So these are my late beetroot. That's the few that are left. Probably in a week's time they'll all come out, and because this is going to be potatoes. Then I've got my 2 grapevines here. That is my Save-Al over the far side there. Peas are looking absolutely tremendous. I'm well chuffed with those. I can't remember when I put them out. I have to look at the last video. Then this grapevine is the one that always gets the powdery mildew. So I've really been severe with it, and if it gets it again this year, I might try grafting something to the rootstock. Right, moving on. So my shallots, I put them out on the shortest day. Oddly enough, they've come up a bit, like there's good ones there and then not so good ones. So, but they're saved shallots, and I've been saving them for absolutely years. I think maybe it's time I bought some new ones. So maybe I'll do that. And then peas, they've been there right through the winter. Oh, and a little bit of mint that, I don't know where that come from, but it's so nice mint. I'm going to leave it there for a bit. And then this not asparagus. This broccoli, this purple sprouting broccoli is just coming into its own now. Lovely jubbly. Then my onions, all my different types of onions. It all wants a bit of weeding, but they're all coming on really nice. And as my blueberry, it's doing good. I lost the blueberry that was there in the ground, so I've got one there in a pot. And that was a cutting that seems to have survived. I'm preparing this to grow melons in under the protection. My strawberry tub, that's probably its last year now. And then my asparagus, they're doing so good. The only problem with this asparagus bed is I keep the soil really fine. There's another one there, look. And both the cat and the fox absolutely loves it. And you can't eat asparagus if a fox has just weed on. It stinks. So, and the cat, he really puts himself out to climb under this netting. So I'm going to try and invent a way. I'll put all this fencing around, but it don't seem to stop him. The cat to jump over it if he really wants to. So then, this is my Sauvignon and Chardonnay vines, and that's my black currant. And then my 2 bins, that one has comfrey in it, that one has nettles in it. I've lost the lid off that one, but I'll find something. then I've prepared this little plot here probably for broad beans. I'm going to grow lots of broad beans, and then these vines I've pruned. That's my dessert vines. Right, the next bit, I've labelled things up because if you're gonna, I've got a terrible memory, and you come up here and I think, oh, I know, I'll put this, and I think, where else I want to put that? So what I've done is I've actually made a plan. So here it's going to be brassicas, as you can see, the little bits of white, that's lime, and then pumpkins over the back, and then this one is going to be my squash, and I've got some broad beans doing nicely. They've got flowers on. Let's go and have a look at them. I did lose a couple. We had severe wind and frost, and that really did take its toll on these, but they're looking good now. As you can see, got plenty of flowers on, so I'm quite pleased with that. The fig tree is just beginning to show buds, as is my black currants, red currants and gooseberries. They're all looking like they're coming back to life. Then here was my cauliflowers. The frost done 2 of those in, but the other ones I've picked and eaten. There's another one there ready to come any minute now. The sprouts were good, but I'm going to let them flower because the bees like the flowers. And then I've got a couple of cauliflowers there. Then I'm going to put in these 2 beds is where my bee flowers are going to go. Now this I'm really chuffed with is some carrots. I only put them in a fortnight ago. Well, actually I didn't. My little granddaughter put them in. She was so chuffed. And then I've done some parsnips in tubes here. There, and they're looking good. But I'm keeping them covered just for a little bit longer yet. And then this bed will be parsnips, carrots, beetroot and so on. Then the broad beans that I put out, I think I put them out last week. They're all taken and they're looking good. And then I've got my strawberries in my anti wood lice arrangement. And the peach tree is looking absolutely superb. Full of blossom. And it's just beginning to spring out its leaves, look. Super. Apple tree is just showing leaves. Then I've got some peas which are looking good there, look. And then that bit is, I can't remember what that bit is. Oh, that's the courgette bed. Then I had this covered with glass, and I'm bringing on a few lettuce. And they're coming on good. Oh, and I'm trying a parsnip in tubes to see if I can get a really long parsnip for the show. Then this bed will be, we've got an artichoke there, look. And the pond is looking good. The newts are happy. I did put some frog spawn in, and I think they've all turned into tadpoles already. Then this is going to be sweet potatoes if I've managed to bring a sweet potato through. There's a few more broad beans. I like the broad beans. I'll grow a few, but I'll grow them regularly. So I'll put another lot in later. There we go. And finally, the beehive. They've just been moved out of the nuke hive into the wooden one, and I suppose they're getting used to it. There's a lot of pollen going in. Along the back here are my bins with the potatoes that went in last year, really. They were, I think they're called volunteer potatoes, aren't they? The ones that grow, that you didn't sow or you left behind. So, there we go. That's the plot. I'm well pleased with it. The weather's nice, the weather's kind. We had quite a mild winter, even though we did have some fairly good frosts along with wind as well, which did take the toll on a few things. But there we go, it's looking good. Now let's look forward to spring and summer. Bye for now.